The following podcast is brought to you by the Ebb Tide Treatment Center. Many people wrestle with addiction. You don't have to. Reach out to the Ebb Tide Treatment Center, where they wish to empower each individual encountered with the support, hope, and tools required for long-term sobriety, priding themselves on providing the best possible treatment experience for you and your loved ones based on unique needs. They're committed to breaking the stigma that plagues those suffering with addiction and their families by educating and bringing awareness to the community. The Ebb Tide Treatment Center provides individual and group therapy, multiple recovery pathways for support, evidence-based clinical support, integrated aftercare social reintegration, personalized treatment planning, program addressing whole life health, and Vivitrol program, all available. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, reach out to them at ebbtidetc.com or call 844-430-4357. Hello once again, everybody. Welcome to AIW's The Card is Going to Change. Boy, do we have a special episode for you today with plenty of guests. But before we get to that, of course, thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to Angelo's Pizza, who's feeding us here today, and they feed you at all of our live events at Mount Carmel. If you want to try any of Angelo's award-winning pizza and you're not at one of our shows and you want to maybe even try something else on their menu, head to Angelo's on Madison Avenue in Lakewood, Ohio. Thanks, of course, to Smart Mark Video, who videos every single one of our shows. They get all of that for you so you can download on MP4, purchase the DVD, all of that available, including past AIW shows, going deep back, find everything, including best of DVDs, all at smartmarkvideo.com. And finally, thanks to Jack Prince, who takes care of all of our printing and graphic design needs. They can do all the same for you, whether you're trying to start a small business or just do something for fun. Take a look at their catalog online at jackprince.com.
JAKPrince.com.
That's right. And that voice that you heard is none other than Brian Carson. He will be joined on this episode with a roundtable of the AIW students as you've come to know them, as we really talk about the AIW Academy from its beginnings, how everybody got here, and so much more. Carson's going to be joined on this episode with the Weird World. Both members are here. Alex Worldwide Keller.
It's too bad that this is just an audio podcast because my eyes are burning from the cigarette smoke right now.
I got every single goddamn window open. It's a beautiful fucking night. We got cross breeze. You're good to go, buddy.
I don't feel the cross breeze.
Wait, those glasses don't do anything? What the fuck?
And just remember, this is Sauceless Worldwide, folks.
Yeah, this is the only way he was allowed back on the podcast.
Yeah. So
I made that decision for the podcast helped, but
yeah, listening to yourself helped.
I haven't listened to him. Can't. Won't.
You just saw all the tweets?
I was told things in hindsight. I've been told many things in hindsight.
I think I know exactly what it was, and it was this quote. I think you should leave.
Luckily, someone pulled a gun on me at work, and that took that fucking image out of my mind. So,
luckily.
You should, and the other quote, Thorne, would have been, shut your mouth until you have something smart to say. Then you can talk again.
I talked again.
Yeah, imagine that.
Of course you did.
Well,
God have mercy, I talked again.
Also on this episode, as I said, Weird Body Evan Adams. Also, one of the voices that you heard already is Dominic Guarini. It should be noted, this is the first time that he will be sitting across from Worldwide on a podcast since that fateful day. Hopefully it goes a lot better. Also, Joshua Bishop here, and the Prince of Broadway, Frankie Flynn, who, yes, he's being kept separate from the Weird World.
And he also has a fucking glittery mask on.
You talked about this not being a visual podcast, but there's so much that people need to see.
We might have to start streaming these ones live.
On
Twitch.
I don't know what the
Connected everywhere.
I really don't know what to make of this.
I think we got a good. I think we got someone from like kind of every era of the
Yeah.
of the school.
Yeah, I mean the first. So people who have been here the longest, right? Weird Body.
So I guess we'll go to Weird Body because Weird Body was the first fucking person I saw day one of training when we're getting ready to open it up, and I go, I was like, what the fuck are we getting? I look at him, I go, are you 18, man?
Yeah, I brought my ID just in case.
There was not a chance that I thought that you were 18.
Oh no, yeah.
You look so different. You had short hair too.
Yeah. My hair's really grown since then.
You were the first person there.
Yep, I was the first motherfucker to PayPal you guys too. So
It shocks
number
me that,
one.
It shocks me that you had PayPal.
Yeah, I had it.
Not-
Not no more, man.
So how do you wind up there? You know, we talked a little bit about your carnival past, but you know, like how do you get to how do you decide like this is where I'm going? You're the first fucking person there.
Well, I mean, like I said, like my original plan was join Chikara school. But then, you know, the carnival deal went down. Woke up one day after a few days after I had mentally decided that the carnival wasn't for me. I was just my plan there was just move back to Cleveland, just kind of go with the flow, see what happens. And then 2 days later, you guys, you know, there was that press release. Hey, we're gonna open up the school with Johnny Gargano. I'm like, and it was like what 1,500, which is like a few K less than Chikara school. So I was like, you know, the stars aligned.
Training on a budget, dude.
Training on a budget, yeah.
Cost of living's a little lower in this town.
Absolutely. So yeah, I was like, you know, I got, you know, shorted on pay after the carnival. And then I had maybe like 150 left. Sent that 125 through the PayPal. Lived on $15 for about 2 weeks until the school opened.
And that was it.
That was it.
Then your career was off and running.
Yep.
Now you're living large.
Yep. And then fucking back then I was just Evan, man. And fucking a few months in, Weird Body came. So
Yeah, that's weird.
found myself.
You found yourself.
Yep.
That first class, I think, was. I think there's probably a lot more fucking connection amongst that first class.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't think there's been anyone else who started at, because we all came in from scratch. I mean, minus Daniels and Singh, who had a little bit of training. But everyone else has just started at ground zero. I mean, I don't think, like, that was, what, 4, I mean, we had, 7 guys in total or something. And there hasn't been, you know, a max joining that. I mean, there might not have even been like 2 students who joined. You know, there's been students who joined around the same time, but not same day. They're not all on the same learning A to B to C. It's someone's learning A while someone's at C, while someone's at E, while someone's fucking.
And we experienced our first dropout a mere few days later.
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah, Steve.
Funniest part about the whole deal was after the because we had the first day where you know, we had that Greg Iron pep talk, so to speak, and then the first actual day of training, getting in the ring, doing the first day drill kind of deal. You and Biggins put him over. You were like,
We thought Steve was the guy.
yeah. You were like, I'm trying to remember the exact phrasing, but it was like, you know, fucking. You have the most potential or something like that.
Biggins loves Steve.
Yeah, Biggins loved
Steve was
him.
the first Biggins guy.
Oh, absolutely. And then he
And
just
we'll learn how that went.
yeah, literally next time in training doesn't come back. Fucking
He came back like
Came
one
back
time.
for one more.
yeah, he came back for
promo
2
day.
more.
Yeah.
Came back for promo day, then he came back and tried to get back in the ring, and didn't go too well for him.
No,
But who's the second guy there? Was Flynn or Carson and Kaplan?
It's Vargo.
Vargo.
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Vargo.
Yeah, Flynn it is childhood friend. They sign up together. They go in together.
Yeah.
Alberti too.
Oh yeah.
Brady was there.
Oh
Forgot about Alberti.
Yeah.
Dustin Alberti. Man, he didn't make it too long.
Had to pay for that smart car, brother. That Mercedes.
I guess I think that's probably the first memorable thing where all the students bonded was the day that Dustin Alberti quit the school.
Oh yeah.
That I really feel like I honestly feel like that was a moment that like unified you guys.
Oh, absolutely.
because you guys
The speech.
Yeah.
stood and looked at him with pure hatred.
Yeah, I mean, like that's cool. Like, real life got in the way. Just fucking, you don't have to give us a big. He wanted to give that speech. Like, it was just like, okay, like fucking, pay off the contract and leave. But he asked specifically to give a speech to a bunch of people who were just like, he wasted valuable training time. Really, that's what he did. Like,
And it never ended.
yeah, it
was
really didn't.
consistently going on and on.
He had like 10 different excuses. Like fucking.
A wedding, Mercedes engine in his smart car,
Yeah.
like so many things.
It's like, okay, dude, we get it. Like, you don't want to be a wrestler. My favorite part about his whole 1 month tenure is at Absolution, like all the students had to come out and break up Elgin and Alexander. And I remember being in the ring and him pushing me out of the way to like break these guys up. Like, like,
He had to get that spot in.
yeah. Hey, man. Hey,
I like Dustin.
yeah, he's a good guy, but I mean, fucking,
Pro wrestling just isn't for everybody.
yeah.
Flynn. So how do things? Obviously, your buddy isn't here any longer.
Yeah.
What's your story? Where do you stem from? Because you guys owned your own ring, right?
Yeah, we owned our own wrestling ring, and we had it set up in our backyard. Before I came to AIW, I was gonna go train at OVW. My plan was to essentially just drive down with him. He was Vargo was gonna train with me, but he was gonna still live here, and he was gonna go back and forth. And my
what a
mindset
trip.
was to go down there and just live in Walmarts.
I love it.
And like parking lots and just train, and then just live in his car when he drove down. Thankfully, I didn't have to do that. You guys opened your school.
How far did you get in the OVW recruiting process?
We sent in our applications.
Did that cost money?
Yeah, it was like $15 to send
Oh,
in
that's
the
not too bad.
application, and
That's
we had
still
to
a
send
work,
in
man.
like pictures and everything like
You
that.
have to get a license too.
Yeah,
I didn't have to apply for AIW.
Yeah, man. We just accepted everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had to. There was like I'm trying to think of the term of like a physical.
Oh yeah.
type
Yeah,
deal
you
that
had
we
to get a
had
physical
to
too,
do
yeah.
and everything of that nature. But thankfully, you guys opened your school. I got to stay here and just live with my grandmother and help her out whenever I could.
Yeah, but like my favorite part is like everyone came in with these like preconceived notions of like what they were gonna be as pro wrestlers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Frankie Flynn was like,
The Thunderbird from Thunder Road.
yeah.
he's
Frankie
like, man,
fantastic.
I'll never forget
Sit
this.
on it.
I'll never forget this, and I'm shocked that I like Flynn at this day because at this moment when he said this, I hated him for all eternity.
I feel like you hated everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, listen, I don't think it should be an easy I don't think it should be an easy road, you know? Like,
yeah.
And where Biggins was just he just loved everybody just being around and how like it was like his like social like
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like that was like going out for him. To me, I was just like I was always the bad cop because
Yeah.
Biggins just wanted that fun with everybody, didn't want to train, like just wanted to talk and fucking tell stories. But anyway, I fucking hated Flynn with the fucking fire of 1,000 suns when we go like he was just like, yeah, my name's Frankie Fantastic. And I said, what? And he said, Frankie Fantastic. He's like, yeah, I'm like a greaser. You know, like he had all this character like all
He had
mapped
trunks.
Yeah.
out. Trunks
I had
made.
gear.
He had gear made already and everything. And I was like, no, that name sucks. And he's like, I have to be Frankie Fantastic. I said, why? He said, because I have it tattooed on my back. Look. And it said fantastic across his shoulder blades. And I went, I fucking hate this guy. This guy is not gonna make it. Like I said, this guy he's gonna not making it. Like this guy is totally oblivious. He's not I was so pissed. Fucking Frankie Fantastic. I already got it tattooed on me, man. It has to be my name.
Tell that story. Did you have the tattoo prior to coming up with that name? Does it come from somewhere, or were you so sold on this gimmick and this character that you went out and got the tattoo before even going to school?
Well, the tattoo was kind of like a weird tribute thing that I did to a friend of mine who passed away. We were like throwing the football around, and he like threw it, and a car was coming, and somehow I made the catch and got out of the way of the car.
Fuck.
It was like it was
the hell
real
kind
close.
of catch you play in your neighborhood?
Yeah, thank God. I thought that story was going somewhere else.
Yeah.
You let off with him passing away, and then you're playing football.
Yeah, no.
Wow, that really took.
Oh,
a
that
turn.
went dark.
Yeah,
Guys.
yeah.
But so anyway, I think and we're gonna get to Carson because in a second. But what made I think what made me turn the corner on you is when we started doing like these things where we had everyone. We're getting like it was before we were even doing the presentation skills where it's like just talk, tell us about yourself, whatever, and you basically said that like your brain was like born on the outside of your head or something, and like I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
That's why this guy thinks his name should be Fantastic. He's got a brain problem.
I was born without a soft spot. Yeah, I had craniosynostosis.
And you have a steel plate in your head, and you explain this whole story to us.
And Ben Carson did your surgery,
Ben
right?
Carson, yeah, Dr. Ben Carson. He ran for president. I don't agree with a lot of things he said as running for president. But hell of a surgeon. Saved my life.
Gonna catch heat from Duke on that one.
Let's not get into the politics. Worldwide's in the building. But yeah, so then the other guy here representing like the first day is Carson, who he came with 2 other friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a crew.
Yeah.
Motley crew, if there ever was
Well,
one.
Yeah, I guess you can call us that. I mean,
The Mayfield Foundation.
Yeah.
So how do you find your way to the school with 2 childhood friends?
2 childhood friends, yeah. Well, me and obviously the other 2 guys were Kaplan and my buddy Steve, who's famous for his Tim Donst promo. But we had been to a couple of events. We went to Gauntlet that year, and I was working late. They wanted to go to J-Lit that weekend, but I couldn't go because of work. And I remember at work, Steve called me because I knew they all went there, and he's like, "AIW's starting up a school, man. We're gonna join it." And at first I was like, "We? Like, what's this? What is this we business?" He's like, "Yeah, me, you, and Kaplan." And I went, "Oh, okay. That's those weren't the 2 people I was thinking of."
And I remember this because the Jollyville Fuckets recruited Kaplan out at a J-Lit. Like he was just all fucking drunk and was talking, and they were like, Nasty Russ was like, "They're opening a wrestling school. You guys should sign up." And then he just sat and he fucking talked them. Nasty Russ is really to blame for fucking Kaplan, or really to thank for Kaplan. I'll rephrase that. But I'll never forget it. It was in the hallway at Turner's Hall, and Nasty Russ is just talking to these fucking guys, and it turns out to be Kaplan and Steve, and he is just on them about fucking joining the wrestling school, telling Kaplan, you're a big guy, like you should join, this is a big man's industry.
You should do a split-legged moonsault. That would be awesome.
I don't know if he told him that, but
But yeah, I'll never forget that. Nasty Russ was openly going after Kaplan in the hallway of the J-Lit.
Recruiter, man.
So when he told me that, because I had been talking about training I was like Flynn, I was going to go to OVW too. Like I took my physical and I got my license, and I had all set up to where I was going to live in an extended stay for 10 weeks and all this stuff. And then he told me that.
I love that this AIW school has just cost Rip Rogers a ton of money.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he told me that Johnny was running the school, and I knew who Johnny was. I seen some of Johnny's matches, and so I remember when we went for the first day for the Greg Iron pep talk. Kaplan couldn't make it because he had to work, and Steve and I are driving there, and Steve looked up the address at Turner's Hall on his phone because I didn't remember how to get there really, because every time I went there I had to go there late because of work, so I didn't it was at night all the time. So we're going there, and Steve falls asleep in the car.
On the way there?
On the way there, he fell asleep. And so I'm just driving on 90. I don't know where I'm supposed to get off or whatever. And I look over, and there's Steve fucking sawing wood in my passenger seat, and I had to wake him up. And I'm like, "Steve, where are we?" He's like, "I don't know where we're at." I was like, "Well, look at that. Look on your phone, man." And it's telling him to turn around and all this stuff. So we passed it by 10 miles or something. We were almost in Avon. We had to turn around. So yeah, and then Kaplan, we told Kaplan what it was like, and he's like, "Yeah, I can't. I'm all set to go." And then I remember when we went to the first training center or the first class. We get there, and Steve's in the car, and he's like, "Hold on, man, I'll be right there." And I look in the car, and I'm like, "Steve, what are you doing, man?" He's taping up his wrists. He's got like this multicolored like wrist tape, and he's like, making. And he's like, all right, I'm ready to do this. And I know, I'm like, Steve, we're not gonna like get in the ring and start, doing matches and all this stuff, man. He's like, well, I'm just getting ready. And I remember that's one thing Biggin said too. Biggin was like, look at this guy. He's got his wrist tape already. He's ready to go. So yeah, and then Steve lasted 2 classes in the ring and then 1 day of promos, and he just decided that the other side of the guardrails is where Steve belongs in the world of professional wrestling. But
I'll get you double on Thursday.
Double on Thursday. Yeah, when we did the first day drill, he couldn't do it, and he told Johnny that he'd have him double on Thursday. And then Thursday just never came.
That was
We're
it.
still waiting.
Fucking yeah, there was like, and then so we pretty much had like a set crew for the most part. Of that.
Solid 6.
Yeah.
After Alberti quits, and Steve just never returns, and then we start getting guys that are popping in for like they're like ready to trade, but they don't last too long. Like Nick, I got this. Nick,
I got this.
Yeah.
Wore Jordans to training.
Doing it.
but I think like Turner's Hall was. I think it was a good place to train, but it wasn't my favorite. Like, what did you think of Turner's Hall? I know, weird body. What did you think of it?
Very, nostalgically into it. And like it was great because it was also just kind of the mystique of Cleveland wrestling history. There was, it was where we ran shows. So, for the first 3 months, all we had to do was carry the ring downstairs. Then we got a training ring, and all we had to do was tighten the ring ropes. That was nice. And then, like, as a building itself, loved it. I absolutely loved it. Oh my God, I didn't even tell you this before. On the way walking over to Worldwide's for this apartment, you know who crossed the street with us?
Who's that?
Fucking Mike.
Mike,
the fucking janitor.
that guy's still alive?
Yeah, dude, we just saw him. He was looking good, man. He didn't even have the neck beard going anymore. He had
Talk
like
to him?
no, absolutely not. I was like, I didn't want to say anything because like it was just like it blew my mind. I saw him in the wild.
He was known as Igor.
Yeah, Igor, man, from the.
Kaplan used to call him Chester.
Yeah.
He was known as Igor. But so 2 things that just popped in my head concerning Igor. One was the night that, because a couple times we'd be training and people just walk in off the street, and it was real. So like real, like we might die at this moment, And then one night we were downstairs, and I don't know I think it was me. I heard something. Yeah. And like we all go up there, and then the training class turned into a ghost hunt.
Yeah.
But we find Igor's room, and he just has fucking. He had like weird porn all over the place.
So much porn in that guy's room.
What was it? It was like some porn of Snow White or Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Something
Dude,
like
it was like Josh Singh's Blu-ray collection, dude. No, it was just rails of this stuff.
But like I remember, it was
I didn't get to see it.
Like no, Weird Body is like onto something. It was some kind of like specific type of porn.
Oh, it was fetish porn. Yeah, it wasn't just like brazzers or anything.
I remember
like
you
that.
guys mentioning something about Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah. It was
And
something like
Kaplan tried to take it.
And then another thing that popped in my head is sometimes a key to get into Turner's Hall wouldn't work. So there was that one time where we couldn't get in at all, and Johnny just had training on the playground.
Yep.
And it was basically just Kaplan backyard wrestling himself.
that. Yeah, that was great. And then fucking Daniels was saying we're just doing flips on the ground.
Yeah, they're doing like parkour weird shit.
Yeah.
And like Kaplan was just climbing up the things that were really tall, or like rolling in the broken glass that was all over the children's park.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
What's up, everybody? This is Alex Worldwide Keller here to tell you all about what the Thrift Store Jobber has for you this week. You know, the only heart I've ever met was Teddy Hart. But you know who was the king of hearts? And was not a nugget, never, not even for one day? That's Owen Hart. And we got a great WWF shirt. Looks about 97, 98, somewhere in there. Size large, brand new. That's right. This is Dead Stock, ladies and gentlemen. And you can find it at Thrift Store Jobber on Instagram, on Etsy, and you can use the promo code WORLDWIDE to get 10% off any order.
My personal favorite training session is when we went to like the fucking chop shop place, which was the next spot.
Oh yeah,
The fucking
right there on West 25th.
the garage.
Yeah.
Do you guys have do you guys have any specific Turner's Hall memories though?
I mean, the ghost hunt really sticks out.
Ghost Hunt was probably the best story. I mean, just kind of fucking, it fell into decay. While we were still training there, where the water got shut off, the
water
lights
got shut off. The heat got shut off.
Pipes
the lights
started bursting.
Yeah. And I remember it was one day only me and Weird Body showed up to training.
Oh yeah,
Kaplan had work. Everyone else.
The parking lot was like snowed in.
Dude,
too.
it was like 10 degrees in the building.
Yeah.
You could see your breath.
That was the first day back from breaking my wrist.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was
too.
wild.
And Johnny just looks at us and goes, "All right, well, what do you guys want to do?" We're just like, I don't know. Like, what do you want us to? And he's just like, "Well, why don't you guys just like have a match?"
Yeah.
And I went, "Okay." And I remember I took the first time we bumped. Like after like in our match or something, I like my back just felt like I bumped on like a frozen lake.
Yeah.
I think I remember saying something weird. I was like, "All right, we're not bumping anymore. We're just gonna work eat on each other or something like that."
The Turner's Hall era made me fucking hate Kaplan because like
Yeah.
we were like tenants, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like this fucking guy thought like
He didn't
there's
understand that.
there's no rules. Like
Yeah.
I'd walk upstairs and Kaplan is just spraying a fire extinguisher everywhere. And I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing, man?" He's like, and I'm like, "We don't own this place. Like we're renting it. Like we have to do a show here next week." And he's and he's just like just anything he could find, or like
He wanted to
the
steal
horse
that
being
horse
knocked
that was
over?
upstairs. He wanted to steal it. I remember every time he's like, "I'm going to take this horse one day."
What did he knock over? He knocked.
He would just knock it over instead.
One time,
Instead
yeah,
of
he did.
taking
He just
yeah.
knocked it over. Yeah.
My favorite was when we did practice promos. He would just find a hardcore weapon to beat himself up
Yeah,
with.
he would just break shit like, but sometimes it was like kind of like expensive shit or like a part of something that he would just find and like act like it was junk, but it was like it belonged to something. And he would just
Yeah.
like break it. And
He would walk into like that long hallway where the bathrooms were,
Yeah.
and he'd just come back with shit. Like he'd find like a 2x4, he'd find like a rusty nail, he'd find like all this. Like,
Yeah.
and he's like, I'm gonna use this in my promo." I'm like, "No, don't use that, dude. You're gonna need a tetanus shot."
This podcast is gonna be bad because I'm remembering my hatred for all of you guys.
Well, like at the end of
I
that
forgot
hall-
that I hated Kaplan because I love Kaplan, but man,
Yeah.
he fucking pissed me off and he's fucking spraying that fucking fire extinguisher for no.
at the end of that hall, which is probably where he got all the weapons, there was just like a random black hole.
Oh yeah, the entry, like the elevator to hell or something. We
Yeah.
called it the endless
Yeah.
black pit.
Yeah.
Turner's Hall is a dangerous place,
Dude,
man. Like,
it is.
there's no way that place was zoned to be operational then. Like, there's just like holes to fucking go outside, like pits to nothing, like
Yeah.
pure danger.
Hey, man.
But my favorite thing is when we moved out, we took every bit of fucking wrestling memorabilia we could find, including like the Cleveland All Pro training sign and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure fucking everybody hates when we have to go to the storage unit and all that fucking junk is in there.
No, it's just in the back. We fucking shoved it all there.
But fucking, my favorite place was the fucking garage.
Oh yeah, man.
which
That's
I feel
still my favorite.
I feel this is exactly where, like, when you talk about becoming a pro wrestler, this is what it should have been, and look at like the Turner's Hall conditions were like you guys were spoiled compared to this fucking garage.
That's true. Yeah.
We fucking Turner's Hall is closing. We have nowhere to go. We're gonna put everything in storage, and then I fucking find this fucking nobody would rent to us because nobody would rent to fucking for a wrestling school. Like
Yeah.
absolutely not. Yeah. I find this one fucking place on Craigslist. It's just a fucking blank garage, unlabeled. I go and I fucking talk to them. There's like motorcycle parts all over it and shit. Pretty sure it used to be a chop shop. It's right next to the projects.
Yep.
And and we're told that we have to share a bathroom with a massage parlor, aka a fucking illegal rub and tug.
It'd be locked all the time too.
Yeah.
And I love this place, but I'm sure you guys fucking hated it because
In the wintertime, I hated it.
Yeah, wintertime sucked.
there was no
when it
heat.
rained.
There was no heat. There was fucking holes in the tin roof ceiling.
If it rained, we were screwed. We couldn't train because it would be puddles in the ring.
It wasn't that we couldn't train. It was pretty much anything that involved moving a lot that pretty much wasn't chain wrestling just wasn't going to happen.
No. And then in the wintertime, there'd be ice in the ring, too.
Ice in the ring, and then in the summertime, if we open the garage door, the little kids from the projects would come and throw rocks at us and full cans of pop and fucking run away.
Fucking hated those kids, man. Oh, I wanted to jump that fence and
And
start
in the
fucking
winter,
chase
we-
those kids down.
And in the winter, we had the John Taffer bar side heater to try to keep it warm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that was
God
the
knows it
worst
wasn't.
investment we
It
ever
did
made.
nothing.
I mean,
Literally
I think
nothing.
maybe Biggins and Thorne got that, but
What's that?
you felt that heater more than any of us.
No, it didn't work that well, dude.
Because if we weren't doing something in the ring, we all sit next to it and try to warm up, and it was not working, dude.
But this is
we blew so much money on propane on that thing.
Every other day, we were buying propane.
But worldwide, I guess we'll go to you, Sober Worldwide. This is this is where this is where you fucking come into the picture. And
This is January 2015.
let's let's hear your story.
Well, I don't know. I'd been like fucking around in punk and hardcore and music and shit for like years and years. Then decided to fucking get into wrestling for some fucking reason. I moved actually, me and old Pete, not Duke, but push pull Pete, my hetero life mate. We moved to Philadelphia. And actually, fun fact, it was either Louisville or Philadelphia.
Man,
So there's some fucking alternate timeline where we're all just fucking brothering it up down in OVW. Us and Miss Hannah. And, and Eddie. Hey. But it all could have happened. But instead, I was like, I'm going to go to the Chikara school. So I was like, I'll move to Philadelphia. And if I don't go to the Chikara school, it's Philadelphia. There's 800 other fucking wrestling schools. And I was losing, just working a 9 to 5 and fucking dropping a bunch of weight. I dropped probably 50 pounds in 3 months.
This is the John Thorne WrestleMania diet, right? This is what
Yes,
John
that I
Thorne-
gave him. You can look it up in John Thorne's Twitter somewhere way back there.
Just drop an egg in that bitch.
I think it's on my Instagram.
Yes, but it was a hell of a diet and dropped 50 pounds in 3 months, so anyone can try it out. Just got to nut up and get yourself a Planet Fitness membership.
Is there something else involved to lose those 50 pounds in those 3 months?
No, I was
normal
fucking
diet?
sober. I was drinking maybe once every 2 weeks.
Well, I'm not talking about drinking.
Oh, no, there was nothing else.
Okay.
No, that came later in the dark period.
Certain kind of sugar.
The white light shines brightest in the darkness, brother, and
I appreciate that. Also, in another alternate timeline universe, you and Weird Body both may have been at the Chikara school, and we still could have potentially had the Weird World.
or we would have just given up after never getting out of the
Yeah, we would
fucking-
never debuted at Chikara.
Yeah.
No way. No.
I had a hell of a gimmick ready for Chikara, though. Mass deal. The bull shark. It was going to be a half bull, half shark. And I could and it would give me an excuse to suck real bad because I was already thinking ahead. I was being realistic. And I'd get tagged up with people and they'd be real mad about it. And they'd be like, this is bull shark and you know it. They'd be having a birthday party. I'd just walk in, knock the cake off the table. Ah, bull shark.
That's a little risky for Chikara.
Yeah, well, it'd be like pushing that edge. But, it was like my best shot at a fucking Chikara gimmick, all right? If anyone steals that, I'll fucking know.
That would have gotten you in the PWI 500 right there.
Son of a bitch.
Weird Body. Before he continues his fucking rant, do you think that the Weird World exists anywhere else in professional wrestling?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, besides fucking a backyard fed, no way. But luckily, we are smart enough to get professionally trained, and we recommend anybody interested in pro wrestling to get professionally trained, preferably at the AIW school, so we can rake in that cash.
And more ring crew.
Yeah, ring crew for sure.
More slave labor.
But no, Weird World is absolutely an AIW only kind of product. I think we are the. If you boil down AIW to its very core, it'd be the Weird World.
So do you think you train anywhere else? You even wrestle a match?
You know what? I mean, no. Absolutely no. Maybe at Shikara if I fucking worked on my body a lot more. But other than that, I feel like a lot of people would have hit me.
I feel like
with
you
a
have
too
a
small.
tattoo that might have opened a door or two. I don't know.
Maybe, man.
What do you what do you think your saving grace is in the AIW?
Chandler Biggins, that's for sure. He was my brother. He took a liking to me for whatever reason. I feel like in that first few months of the training school, I think I mentioned something about Bill Watts' no top rope rule, and I think that was like a little
That's
more.
it.
That was a little more advanced than like anybody else in terms of like just wrestling geekdom. And I think Biggins popped for that, and then ever since then, I just kind of he would like anytime I had to get merch, he would pick me and he would be like, "Hey man, rent my trunk." We went to Chicago and I was handpicked to go. He didn't want to go with anyone else, but me and you, Thorne. So
That was bad. That turned out to be a bad week for me, dude.
yeah, oh yeah, that was not good. But hey man,
It happens.
it happens.
Let's get back to worldwide.
All right, so
story.
I'm out in Philly.
after the bull shark.
After the bullshit.
After the bull shark. This guy's a real bull shark artist, you know that? But could have done 1,000,001 things with this thing. But anyway,
TM. Put a TM after that every time you say it.
trademarked, motherfucker. But anyway, so I was planning on getting down to 200 pounds. I went from like 280 to like 230. Then I like went back right around my birthday to visit with my like girlfriend at the time and like friends and shit back in Cleveland. And at that point in time, one of my best friends killed themselves, and I found them, and it was a whole ugly deal. And that basically, like right there, lit a fire under my ass, like where I was like, all right, I moved out here to train. I'm gonna fucking train, and I joined the goddamn CZW school, and it was pretty cool. It was all right, and then I got concussed to fuck in training, and then very quickly in like a span of like a weekend decided to move the fuck back to Cleveland. And then it was left alone for about 2 years of like just getting reacclimated in Cleveland and working and doing the thing, and then joined the fucking school. And
This shit got real dark accidentally. Like this whole podcast. What the
Yeah.
hell is going on here?
there's
Welcome to
there's a method to
wrestling.
my madness.
So, what leads you to the AIW school?
Well, I remember I saw something on the Twitter. I mean, I had been going to AIW shows as a fan since I want to say ABSO in 2012. That was the deal where you had your first retirement match, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was there, and then I was a very drunk fan for a number of years. After a while,
I remember this.
yes, Biggins, look back on AIWarchives.com and find out how bad Worldwide was way back when.
Charge it to the Underhills.
Oh, he's in NXT now. He can't hurt me. You people can tell hole in the ground sperm boy to fuck off. All right, I ain't doing no extra work, and I'm waiting until 205 Live takes a dive. Anyway,
They need those tall job guys to make them care about the short guys, right?
I'm saying 6'6", 170 pounds. It would be hilarious. Anyway, fucking, that's a whole other deal for the Patreon podcast.
I don't think that you should ever tell that story.
Never ever. Like I said, Patreon pod. We got to put that thing like deep, like dark web paywall.
Like what? Like the $500 donation level of Patreon?
Yes,
Putting that on the Silk Road.
Bitcoin, come at us. But where the fuck was I?
Your intro to school. So you're drunk at shows.
Oh
Not
yeah,
much
just
has
being a
changed.
piece of shit. They already like were calling me worldwide because I was hashtagging everything worldwide because I'm sort of like the co-director of a fake real skinhead gang. Sharps, skinheads against racial prejudice, eat a dick Trump, and neo-Nazis, alt-right, and any other little boner assholes. But
I don't think that like the general like public is aware that like skinheads aren't Nazis.
oh well, their roots are in England, just listening to R&B and ska and reggae and shit with a bunch of black dudes. So that's where it goes back. And anti-racist skins have existed since racist skins started popping up in the late 70s, by which point skinheads had already been a thing for like damn near a decade, just being some beer drinking hippie haters. But
knowledge is power.
yes.
But your head is not skinned.
No, well, that was always the joke. But I did have a shaved head for years. I almost shaved it fucking the other week when I was losing my mind. I think late summer is when I chop off all my hair now. But
I remember you popping around at shows at Turner's Hall, and I would yell worldwide.
yeah,
But because you would fucking you'd leave
Hashtag
you'd leave me
everything.
you'd leave me comments on Instagram.
oh yeah, I was basically just cutting goddamn fucking Basement Boys promos, which is also what shoved me into wrestling. Was I was in a band with like maybe 6, like we got a third tape in the works, but that's like 2 years in the hole. But yeah, we had like 6 songs of doom basically, and it's like 2.5-minute songs and me just talking 5 minutes of shit between every single song. Dr. Dan felt my wrath, if memory serves. I think Matt
He's
Riddle
not
might have
referred
felt
to
my
as
wrath.
Dr. Dan anymore.
Oh, Dr. Dingleberry, what's going on?
Dr. Dickhead, Dr. Dick Dad,
I was
Doctor.
I was at that show. I was at that Basement Boys concert.
Rockingham.
I was at that Basement Boys concert where Dr. Dan was there, in which you started throwing full beers at him as hard as you could. And he was nowhere close to the stage. You just fucking, like a hawk, you just fucking...
Well, you know, I am an athlete at the end of the day, so...
You just zoned in on your prey, and you just started fucking full 22 ounces, man, right at his fucking
I just
head.
wanted the whiskey ginger, and he wasn't bringing it fast enough.
Yeah, so you just threw fucking your full beers that you already had at his head, and I never... Poor Dr. Dan fucking in his Yale fucking society upbringing.
It looked real nice.
With his fucking polo shirt in at his fucking punk club, fucking now that's class. Worldwide fucking throwing full beers at him. Never seen so much culture shock in my life.
That's what I live to do. I just live to take things that don't belong with each other and just slam them the fuck together. And I was doing that back when I was like booking bands and shows and shit. And here we are right now.
Yeah, so that's why we're all in this apartment right now.
Yes, and after me came the Dom Inoki, as I would call him back in those days.
You never even talked about like going to the school. Like
You're trying to segue for yourself here. Yeah. We'll get to me. Well, I am not nearly as interesting as you.
Oh, come on.
You've talked about everything else, but like what?
All right, so I started the school, fucking introduced myself.
But like no, like how do you decide that you're going there? Like
Oh, well, I had 2 options, and option 1 was the AIW school, and option 2 was one Ricky Shane Page's school. Now, I'm very happy I made the choice I made now, but what it came down to way back then was I had a real piece of shit car, which Hot Sauce
Nothing's
Entertainment might or might not have had killed, and
Right.
And I had a real piece of shit car, and I live in Lakewood, which is directly to the west of Cleveland, Ohio.
back to that fucking the Hot Sauce Entertainment story.
He's going to give you the...
I think Hawkins might have been involved too. I don't know.
Did you call Border Patrol on Tyson Dukes?
Hell no.
I wasn't sure. I mean, maybe
I've
that was
never
your
fucking
payback
narc, man.
I
I
thought
haven't
maybe
called
that
a
was your
cop.
payback for the car.
Last time I called a cop, I had a fucking gun pointed at me, and the time before that, it has I don't know what the fuck when.
Which was recently.
Yes, that's a whole other story. But anywho, yeah, his Ricky's school was in North Royalton, which is about like 20 minutes away, half hour away. And the AIW school was 1 15-minute bus ride on the 26 from my place, which, you know, fucking, I was like, my car works right now, but I don't know how much longer it'll work. And so I went with the sure thing.
In worst case, you could have even walked from where you live.
Yes. I mean, it would have been like 4-mile walk,
yeah.
somewhere in there. But yeah, so I went with the, you know, if public transit was better in the Cleveland metropolitan area, maybe I would have ended up at Ricky's school and I wouldn't even be on this damn podcast right now. But as it is, God bless the 26 and my shitty car.
We would have missed out so much. So
yeah, talk about your first day. How?
All right. Came in, fucking. I was very quiet. I don't know if anyone else noticed, but yeah, I don't. I didn't say shit barely. Other than
was that true to everybody else who was there?
I didn't say much for. I was pretty quiet for a while.
They seemed pretty quiet.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I was just getting accolated, you know, just trying to show respect and da 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 da. Yep, you know, don't play yourself, and boy have I. But fucking yeah, did the first day drill, first fucking try, and so to anyone else out there that can't hit that shit, you know,
I'm pretty sure everybody in this room did it on their first try worldwide.
well, we're all still here, aren't we?
True.
That's a fair point.
So congratulations to us, elite athletes that we are. And Frankie Flynn trying to steal my thunder. You know, you're lucky I even let you in my house after the shit you perpetrated upon me, you ignoble son of a bitch.
Frankie suggested that Worldwide may not know what elite athlete means.
Athlete. I'll take athlete. All right, you want to fucking... I'll meet you in the middle.
All right. Quit getting distracted here.
Anyway, yeah, so first day drill, fucking got to learn shit. And also, I'm really happy for our newer students now, because now we have the Monday, Wednesday beginner class and the Tuesday, Thursday, like intermediate advanced class. We did not have that when I joined, and I was just one human jumping in on the school.
Did you not?
No, we didn't.
started that with like when you joined.
Yeah.
So what did you get tossed into when you?
Well, I mean, they were just taking me through like rolls, bumps, like, you know, like shit. And then it was like, oh, here's the arm drag, and my fucking arm drag sucked. And like, I like remember like a week later, like, you know, we were going through some shit, and everyone was like doing all these fantastical moves, and I was just like, can we go through that arm drag again? And like, I think Johnny was like out on booking somewhere, but Daniel's like, he paid his money like everyone else, so, you know, let's do fucking arm drags. And we did arm drags, and, you know, it got from dog shit to like just kind of shitty, and then it just moved right along. And that's why I'm jealous of all these kids that have like the fucking beginners class where, like, you know, you're not just like throwing in there. Meanwhile, Dan came in like a month after me and accomplished himself.
Was he after you? I thought he was before, a little bit more.
No. Hell fucking no. You want to talk about my heat? My early fucking visceral blind rage heat with Dr. Dan. That motherfucker came after me. But
this was a big.
This is like the beginning of like me and Thorne, just
a big piece of drama.
Yeah.
Dr. Dan, all right, because I was like doing random things. Like, you know, I'd bring like a fucking case of water to the school or this or that. And then fucking like a week later, Dr. Dan would do the same fucking thing. And all of a sudden he's getting fucking his like balls fucking cupped by every motherfucker in that goddamn
Hey, man,
school.
that's just part of an exam. He's used to it.
Yeah. And fucking, I saw him. We were fucking hauling that goddamn ring out. He's just fucking talking to this vet, that vet. And I'm like, that's cool, but we got a fucking ring to move out. And da. And yeah, the heat built, and probably greatest recorded promo I've ever done. So there is that. You can look it up on the AIW YouTube. The Weird World is living in complicated times, something like that.
You're kind of like a ring crew general.
King of the ring crew.
Yeah. At what point did this happen? Because you're already bitching about Dr. Dan. Did you take...
I've like worked like fucking like concert security at like fucking like Peabody's and the Agora and like other fucking spots. And like, you know, we've had to like set up like productions and shit. And the easiest way to get shit done is to get shit fucking done. Just like fucking hustle, like fucking do it and get it goddamn done. Then you can dick around all the fuck you want, but you got to get the goddamn job done first. And I just had that. That's another thing I'm fucking happy about. I think I was like 30 when I joined the school. And if I joined when I was 20, wouldn't have lasted past like a fucking week. And if I made it past a week, I wouldn't have made it past 6 months because my work ethic was like complete dog shit.
Another thing you hated about Dr. Dan was that he started after you and he was picking things up quicker than you. And,
absolutely.
And you were very resentful about that too.
Here's the thing. My whole thought process on training was, you know, Dr. Dan went from like kind of like 0 to like a good solid 45. Pretty quick. And me, you know, he like was like learning, like I wanted to like learn my ABCs so I could spell cat, dog, you know, maybe move up to words like effect, pussy, you know, whatever. And then finally,
What was that last one?
pussy,
Yeah.
like a pussy cat. But
All right.
hey, I got neighbors downstairs with your fucking stomping on the floor.
Yeah, she gave me a lap dance one day.
No, that's one over. This is a Nicaraguan family. Great people. But
Good Lord.
When'd you learn how to spell that?
After parties?
Nicaraguan.
Before the enter the 36 chambers, I was at a strip club and
You spell Catholic K or
this fucking this girl was like, "What are you guys doing in town?" Blah blah blah. And we talked about wrestling. She goes, "Oh, my neighbor is a wrestler. He's like some kind of crazy guy. He's got a mustache and dyed blonde hair." I said, "Is his name Alex Worldwide Keller?" She said, "Yes, that is. That's my
That's
neighbor."
what it says on his birth certificate.
Gave me a hell of a
Alex
discount.
W. Keller.
How about she gave you? But first, she introduced herself to us. She gave you one name, and you said, "Oh, is that your stripper name?" She's like, "No, that's my real name." And then as soon as we were like, "Oh, we know Worldwide," then she gave us the real name.
Yeah, she goes, "Oh, tell him Britton said what's up." And I said, "That you just told me your name was Angel."
Worker.
She worked.
Bless those strippers.
So, Worldwide, did you have any like preconceived notions of what you were going to be as like in the ring?
Oh, 1,000.
Bull
man.
shark.
I got them all.
Well, I had the bull shark fucking. Oh, I thought I was gonna be like
AK-47.
this evil Southern heel. I thought I was gonna be
Evil A.
We already
evil A. That's
we
the whole,
have one
like,
of those now.
You were going to be a dirty Southern heel?
I was just like a dirty son of a bitch and ass heel. And,
Out of this world, Wade Bishop.
Oh yeah.
He had
Oh yeah. By the
1,000.
way, I gave Josh Bishop his last name. Anyway, we'll get to that later.
What are you, his
Mark.
real father? You marry his ma? Because I hear this gain shit's going to fuck you up, man.
Listen
It's
here,
leaked. His mom listens to this, brother.
Papa Bishop. Anytime, any place. Let me know. I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, the brawl for all is all said and done. That was all a fucking Machiavellian scheme to get Dr. Dan put through a fucking table. So anyone that was bothered,
Your ultimate big revenge.
yes, I got him. So who knows what weird gimmick match he's going to start pushing that I'm going to tell him will never happen.
I mean, I wanted to get back to the spelling, you know?
Oh yeah, but like I'm saying, like, you know, like just like learn this, and then fucking move on to this, and fucking. But then it was like, all right, church, taught you a fucking body slam, backdrop, and arm drag. Everyone's doing crazy shit. Let's do crazy shit. And I was just like, and it was that point in time that I realized that I thought a lot about character shit and promo shit and in ring. Nah. Which is really a silly, dumbass fucking. But, you know, my brain works in weird ways. And,
So let's get back to these preconceived notions of yours.
hold
on. Flynn has something to say.
Was this also the time where a fallaway slam was your only move you could do?
I could do a fucking
Flying burrito,
scoop slam too, brother.
Yeah.
It was.
But yeah,
mainly-
yeah. The running joke was, oh, fall away slam is worldwide's finish. And, you know, I'll let T2 keep
Still-
that
I
one.
say still Big Twan Tucker.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
yeah.
He didn't
can
add
keep
that.
it.
He didn't add the flying burrito until months after.
Yeah, I was at the academy by the time Flying Burrito
Yep.
came into play.
And, you know, I just learned, like, you know, maybe one move every, like, 3 to 5 months. Like, recently I got that German, and I've been having a good time with that. And,
So let's hear your fucking preconceived characters. Let's hear them all.
well, I just had, like,
Do
my
we have
old-
time for all of them?
No.
Give us the best 2 to 3.
Oh, well, no. I just had, like, it was, like, going to be the amoral one, evil A, Alex Keller, or Alex Worldwide Keller. The king of wrong style. I was
What was that going to entail?
just being a dick.
Okay. All right.
I was amoral, so I was beyond right and wrong.
Oh, that was all one character.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
okay,
yes.
okay.
It was
Oh,
a
that's
real
different.
long-ass name.
All right.
All right.
But
Now let's get on to fucking Dominic Garini.
Oh, yeah.
Gagini.
Mr. Gagini.
The Bone Collector.
Dominoki.
I met you, Dom, in the hotel room. That sounded weird, but after everybody was partying after Geek Fest, and all
Yeah,
I
well-
remember is this dude top 10.
We're not going to talk about that story.
Well, that's we'll skim cliff notes of that story because that's kind of how I really got ingrained in AIW. But obviously, from my background, I come from this competitive jiu-jitsu background, and at a point, I just got really burned out of competing. My coach was a real dick, and he pushed me a little too hard. It got to the point where I resented jiu-jitsu. I would still train, but it was one of those things that I didn't really want to do anymore. And through that time, I was always like a big pro wrestling fan. Like originally, before I even thought about MMA or jiu-jitsu, I wanted to be a pro wrestler. And just paths got crossed, and I got into this jiu-jitsu world instead. And like Kevin Steen was always my favorite like wrestler when I was younger. So I started following pro wrestling a lot more once he got signed by the WWE, and I followed everything like that. And I was at the Raw in Cleveland where he powerbombed MGK off the stage, and that night I found the AIW school. I sent an email, and from there on out, showed up at the academy.
I feel like you're kind of this one of the students that like this is walking encyclopedia of old school wrestling and everything else. You had to have endeared yourself to a guy like Biggins pretty quickly.
Well, I think once Chandler Biggins discovered that there was more to my name than having the same first name as Vin Diesel from The Fast and the Furious, and he finally started to see all of my wrestling knowledge, that me and Chandler became very good and very close friends.
That was it. Oh, your name's Dominic? Oh, cool, man. You're going to do a race. You're going to do like a street racing gimmick.
Yeah, that ended quickly once he saw my busted up 2000 VW Golf.
Oh, he was so disappointed.
He was like disappointed. He wanted me to have like
a Honda Civic.
Yeah, or like an Eclipse, like a Mitsubishi Eclipse, just like ripping it through fucking Detroit Avenue.
Yeah, he was so mad. He thought everybody named Dominic was like a streetcar racer.
No.
So you failed on that end, but thanks to knowing about wrestling, you were able to forge that there.
Yeah, and like I guess I'm lucky that I kind of came in at this time where like this grappling style is very popular. Because I came to wrestling 10 years ago, I would have probably not be afforded some of the opportunities that I've been afforded thus far.
And you kind of rolled in with a couple guys that bowed out relatively quickly, right?
Yeah, so kind of like I remember my first class that I showed up to. We had the wonderful King Jacob.
Oh, King Jacob.
Thorne, is he still on the comeback trail?
I don't know. I didn't hear from him after that time. He told me he was coming back.
Well, King Jacob was a young man, about 18 years of age, from the Youngstown, Ohio area. Decided he wanted to run every drill as fast as humanly possible, which worldwide, how'd that make you feel?
A little upset.
So King Jacob would run every drill as fast as possible. Had quite possibly the worst memory of any kid I've ever met. Right up there with Big Twan Tucker.
I was gonna say,
it's right up there, Steve.
Okay.
So that was the first person I saw. The second person I saw would have been one Matthew.
Matthew Grant.
Oh, man, he was sweet.
Day.
Well. Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot what his name
teacher.
was.
That day.
Yeah, the teacher. Okay.
The teacher.
Wow.
Dean Douglas.
Who was that other guy that quit? What, like he rolled his ankle and then he came back? Corey. And he
Corey, the one who was trying to sue.
He's
He's gonna
suing
get
us
this fucking
because
podcast
likeness
pulled off
rights.
of goddamn iTunes.
Yeah, he kept flagging our YouTube video on the presentation skills, saying that was his likeness and we didn't have the rights to it.
Even though he signed a contract.
Yeah, little you know about that contract.
Then there's
where he signs over his
Ill
likeness.
Mitch. Were you around for Ill Mitch?
I was not around for Ill Mitch.
I saw his first day drill and last day drill.
I was around for Bryce though.
Ill Mitch.
The Dark Knight.
Ill Mitch. I convinced Johnny and Biggins. I was like, dude, this guy showed up with a fucking. He's got gear. He's a rapper. He's like fucking. He's doing freestyle raps. I was like, this is amazing. You should see this gear that this guy's got. And they came and they're like, where is he? I go, I was just fucking with you guys.
And then we of course had
Ethan. I was gonna say.
No. How are we gonna skip over Bryce?
Oh wait.
Let's remember Bryce, who I'm pretty sure stocked Johnny Gargano at the gym Johnny worked at, or not worked at. I'm sorry, worked out at, and then proposition about the school, shows up to the school, decided he wanted to be a mixture of Johnny Gargano and Batman, was his gimmick idea. One day proceeded to send us a chat message that was gear that literally looked like Seth Rollins gear.
And I think at that story, we're going to have to end it here to a to be continued because we're closing in an hour already.
Damn.
But we will record another session that will air at a later date as soon as this is over.
TBC, baby.
Yeah, so that'll wrap it up for this episode. We'll talk to you guys next week on AIW's The Card is Going to Change.